Welcome to Cozy Bedtime Stories. Are you ready to immerse yourself for the magic that's about to unfold? Let's dive straight into this magical story of Alara, the Dreamweaver's Lantern. Chapter 1. The Forgotten Village. In a forgotten corner of the world, where the hills rolled gently into soft meadows and the streams hummed sweet lullabies, there was a village that had been untouched by time. The houses, built of stone and wood, stood in quiet rows, their roofs covered with moss, their walls adorned with creeping ivy. This village, called Everdon, was a place where no one ever hurried, and everyone lived in perfect harmony with nature. At the edge of the village lived a young woman named Alara. She was known for her kind heart and gentle spirit, but what set her apart was her gift. Alara could weave dreams. Not with thread, but with the power of her hands and her voice. She could shape the dreams of those who fell asleep nearby, guiding them into peaceful slumber. Her cottage, tucked away near the forest, was always filled with the soft glow of lanterns, each one glowing brighter with the energy of a dream that had been shared. Chapter 2. The Lantern's Secret. One evening, as Alara prepared to set her lanterns for the night, she noticed something unusual. A new lantern had appeared on her doorstep, though she knew she hadn't placed it there herself. It was a beautiful, intricate thing, with silver filigree that shimmered like starlight and a soft, ethereal glow that seemed to pulse with life. Curious, Alara reached out to touch it, and the moment her fingers brushed the cool metal, she felt a strange sensation, like a quiet whisper tugging at her heart. This lantern, unlike the others, seemed to call to her in a way that felt magical. She placed it gently inside her cottage, setting it atop her wooden table. But as the evening wore on, she found that the lantern's glow grew brighter and more intense, casting dancing shadows across the walls. The more she stared at it, the more Alara felt an overwhelming pull to it, as though it were offering her something she had long been missing. Chapter 3. The Dreamweaver's Journey. That night, Alara lay in bed, her mind racing with thoughts of the lantern. As she drifted off to sleep, she found herself standing in a vast, starry field. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine, and the sky above her shimmered with constellations that seemed to shift and swirl in mesmerizing patterns. There, in the center of the field, stood a figure cloaked in flowing robes of midnight blue. The figure held a staff adorned with tiny, glowing lights, and as Alara approached, the figure turned to her with a smile. "I am the Dreamweaver," the figure said, her voice as soft as the wind. "And this is your gift. The lantern you found is a key to the realms of dreams." The Dreamweaver explained that Alara had been chosen to help guide lost souls through their dreams, not just in Everdon, but across countless worlds. The lantern, she said, would show her the paths that lay ahead, illuminating the way for those whose hearts were heavy, whose dreams were lost. Alara, though awestruck, felt a deep sense of purpose stir within her. She knew, in that moment, that her life had changed forever. Chapter 4. The First Dream. The next morning, Alara found the village quiet, as usual. The sun shone brightly, and the air was crisp with the early autumn chill. But as she went about her day, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was different. That night, she lit the mysterious lantern and placed it beside her bed, just as she had done the previous evening. As she closed her eyes, she felt the familiar pull of the dream world once more. This time, the dream was unlike any she had ever woven before. It wasn't just a dream of a peaceful forest or a soft lullaby. It was a dream of a young boy lost in the vastness of the ocean, his small boat adrift on the endless waves. His eyes were wide with fear, and his heart pounded with uncertainty. Alara, though far away, could feel the boy's fear in her own chest. She reached out with her mind, gently weaving a dream of safety and warmth, of a lighthouse shining through the fog. The boy's boat slowly turned toward the light, and the storm that had raged around him began to calm. The boy's face softened with relief as the dream slowly faded, and Alara knew, with a quiet sense of satisfaction, that she had helped him find his way. Chapter 5. The Lantern's Power. With each passing night, Alara's connection to the lantern grew stronger. She found herself visiting realms of dreams she had never known existed, places where the skies were filled with colors that no one had ever seen before, where time flowed like a river and the landscape changed with every heartbeat. She saw the dreams of young lovers, of children building castles in the air, of ancient trees whispering forgotten secrets. She learned how to mend broken dreams, how to guide troubled minds, and how to protect those who had lost their way. But as her power grew, so too did her understanding of the lantern's true nature. It was not just a tool, it was a living thing, a bridge between worlds, a guide for those who had forgotten how to dream. Alara's heart swelled with gratitude, and though she had always felt at peace in her little village, she now knew that her purpose stretched far beyond the borders of Everdon. Chapter 6. The Darkening Dream. One evening, as Alara prepared for sleep, she felt a deep unease in her chest. The lantern flickered ominously, its glow dimming and brightening in strange pulses. She hesitated, but eventually, she closed her eyes and allowed herself to drift into the dream world. This time, the dream was not a peaceful one. She found herself in a barren wasteland, the ground cracked and dry, and the sky above her dark and stormy. A figure stood in the distance, its back to her, cloaked in shadows. As she approached, the figure turned, revealing a face she did not recognize, its eyes black voids, hollow and empty. "This is the dream of lost hope," the figure said, its voice like the wind through dead trees. "A dream that cannot be mended." Alara's heart twisted. She reached out with her power, but the darkness recoiled, its grip tightening on the dreamer's soul. With all her strength, Alara called upon the lantern, its light brighter than ever before. Slowly, the darkness began to recede, but the battle was far from over. Alara knew this would be her hardest challenge yet. Chapter 7. The Dreamweaver's Lesson. When Alara awoke, the village was eerily quiet. The wind carried a chill that spoke of things to come, and the lantern, though still glowing, seemed to hold a heavy weight. Celine, the Dreamweaver, appeared before her once more. The dream of lost hope is the most difficult to mend, Celine explained. It is a dream born of deep sorrow, of grief that has settled into the heart and refuses to leave. You must learn not just to guide dreams, but to heal them. Alara nodded, determination filling her. She knew the task ahead of her was great, but she was not one to shy away from helping others. Chapter 8. The Dream of the Forgotten. Weeks passed, and Alara continued to help those who entered the realm of dreams. But the dream of lost hope weighed heavily on her heart. She knew she had not yet fully healed it. One night, as she sat with the lantern, a soft voice echoed through her mind. It was the voice of the dreamer, the one who had been lost in the darkness. I have forgotten how to dream, the voice whispered. How do I find my way again? Alara closed her eyes and let the lantern's light envelop her. She reached out with all her love and care, offering the dreamer a simple message. You have not forgotten, dear one. You only need to remember. As Alara's words filled the dreamer's mind, the darkness began to fade, and the dreamer stepped out into the light once more. Chapter 9. The Return of the Dream. When Alara awoke, she felt the world shift beneath her. The lantern now glowed brighter than ever before, its glow soft and steady. She knew that the dream of lost hope had been healed. From that day forward, Alara's dreams were even more powerful than before. She had learned not just how to guide others, but how to heal, to remind those lost in darkness that there was always hope, always light. Chapter 10. The Dreamweaver's Legacy. Years passed, and Alara became known far and wide as the Dreamweaver of Everdon. People came to her from distant lands, seeking her guidance, her healing touch. And every time, she used the power of the lantern to weave a new dream, one of peace, love, and hope. But the lantern never left her side. It had become a part of her, a reminder of the journey she had taken and the lives she had touched. And as Alara stood at the edge of Everdon, her heart full, she knew that she would continue weaving dreams for as long as the stars shone above.